What is up? Back again. Ripping out my third video in a row. If you've been watching, this is what's playing. Carl Berger and David Holland, All Kinds of Time. This is on Sackville Records, Canadian label. Not bad, cheap record. Some enjoyable stuff. Okay, this video is going to be used records that I picked up. Some of these before I left on my trip. Some, the few that I picked up since I've been back. This one is the biggest stack of them because definitely try to buy more used records. I'm gonna have to go quickly because it's getting dark, and like I mentioned in my first video, this is the second time I shoot this, so I'm gonna try to just go quickly. Charles Tolliver, Music Inc. with Stanley Cowell, Ron Matheson, and Alvin Queen, Impact on Enya. Love this cover. This is one that I'd been after for a while since I got into the Strata East label. Was hoping to come across this one. Haven't spun it yet, but I know it is going to be good. Just found this one the other day. Couple I picked up today. I don't know what this pressing is. It was listed on Discogs at a local shop as an original pressing, and I'm pretty sure it's, well, I know it's not, but I can't figure out when it's from. The cover definitely looks like it's an original pressing. This is Lee Morgan. Here's Lee Morgan on VJ. It has this, you know, the rainbow pressing, but there's no deep groove, and some of this, you know, the text is in a different place. And from my research online, I can't find any examples of this. Discogs, it's not listed. So if you know anything about the VJ labels, let me know. But this is the Lee Morgan record I've actually never even heard. So I'm gonna play this tonight once I finish filming these videos. Picked this up today, Betty Davis, killer record, monster funk record. Really excited about this one. Cover's not in the best shape, but it's completely intact, just some ring wear and foxing. Record's in good shape. So really happy to add that. Funk record. This is an unknown, completely unknown record. Saw it on at one of my local shops. It's on Impulse, and I listened to one side the other day while doing some dishes, and I was blown away. I had sampled it quickly online before, which is why I bought it, but I honestly have never seen anyone show this record, and from what I heard of it, I was really impressed. And I'm looking at the list here and the artist, and I didn't even realize that Roberto Miranda is on here. But this is Saracho en Medio on Impulse from, it's got to be like 73, yeah, 73, and it is, there's a ton of Fender Rhodes on here. Yeah, he plays Fender Rhodes. This is something. So soul jazz, could say. Definitely recommend. Does anyone know this record? Never heard anyone talk about it. I'm assuming he's of Latin descent of some kind, Gary Saracho, but I know nothing about him. Recorded in LA. Probably the most collectible item that I've picked up, well, for me, is this Noah Howard record at Judson Hall on ESP. Really, really happy to find this. It's a third copy that I see pop up locally, actually. But yeah, finally grabbed it. Just heavy record, not heavy in the sense it's not accessible, free jazz, but not just like crazy all over the place. Definitely felt this one resonated with me when I took the time to listen to it. This, didn't know this record, but took a chance on it. And this is Booker Little Out Front on Candid. This is a Japanese pressing from the 70s that I got. This is I got that at an unusual spot, more of a bookstore. They have records, but I've never bought anything there before. Bought a bunch of records there, actually. They're lower down in this pile. This, I don't know what to say. I don't know this record. I bought it. I like it. I don't know if it's a French or a Quebec. Yeah, Paris. Okay, it's a French record. That's what I thought. This is Zoo, and I need to know more about this record. I'm sorry that I don't know. I just saw it for a good price. I know I've seen it before. Some breaks on here. This one's on the Riviera, what looks like the Barclay label. So yeah, someone probably knows more about this. I bought this a long time ago. Listened to it a couple times. Oh, a rock record. Stepping out of the jazz. May Blitz. This knew nothing about. Saw the cover, intrigued me. Vertigo intrigued me. Bought it. Was cheap. Not in great shape, but it's a loud rock record, so plays well. Sounds fine. Doesn't distract from the listening. Happy to add that. I don't buy many rock records, but there's some that kind of grab my attention that are out of the ordinary. Right before I left, grabbed this. Andrew Hill, Dance with Death, from this Blue Note series of unreleased records. This one is from '68 with Joe Farrell, Charles Tolliver, Victor Sproles, and Billy Higgins. Picked up Gears earlier this year, and then I found this, Forever Taurus, which was recorded after, but this one is Sans Mizell Brothers, unfortunately. This one didn't really resonate with me. There's some okay stuff, but a bit too cheesy. I'll give it another listen and see. But dollar brand. This is Manenberg, is where it's happening. And I don't know about this pressing. The record's not in great shape, but it was really cheap, and it's kind of a rare-ish, expensive record from South Africa. One of his earlier ones from the early 70s. But this is, I couldn't find this pressing online, Gallo. But I enjoy the record, and it's, for the shape that it's in, it sounds pretty good. But it's not an original pressing. Can't tell you what this is, but this is definitely a dollar brand record that's worth checking out. This, from that odd store that I found a few things at, Le Quatuor de Jazz Libre du Québec. So this Quebec free jazz record from the 70s, I don't know what, no, 1969, so some early-ish Quebec free jazz that I picked up. Picked up this, Walt Dickerson, Tell Us Only the Beautiful Things, some vibes. For some reason I'm attracted to labels that have covers that look the same. This one's not as exciting because it literally looks identical, but you know, the new jazz with the white, black jazz, BYG, anything that has kind of a consistent aesthetic impulse, even with the sleeves, with the spines, like, I don't know, it makes it more collectible to me for some reason, or more interesting to collect. Not interesting, but for some reason I want to collect it more when they all kind of have this similar aesthetic, which is weird. You'd think it would be less appealing almost, but I was happy to pick this one up. Another one with Booker Little. This is another Japanese pressing. I think it's from the same series as the Candid one I picked up, but I'm not sure. Around the same time, late 70s, I think. I could be wrong, but this is Eric Dolphy, Far Cry with Booker Little. Also Ron Carter, Roy Haynes, Jackie Bayard. Another one from that store that I don't usually go to. Haven't listened to this one yet. This is John Coltrane, Bahia on Prestige. This is from '64, but probably recorded, yeah, in the late 50s. Really nice cover. This one like has its full gloss and everything. What else do I got here? Oh, another dollar brand record, The Children of Africa. This is a trio record with Cecil McBee and Roy Brooks on Enya. This is something. Check this out. If you like spiritual jazz, not all trio music resonates with me, but this one was dope. What else do I got here? Oh, I'm missing some stuff. Sorry guys, going really fast and I have to speed up. Some more stuff from that store that I picked up. The bookstore. Grant Green, live. I think this is live at the Lighthouse, but I've heard so many good things about this record. I've heard it, but only disc 1 because I bought it before and it was 2 disc 1s, which I gave back to the store. They credited me for. That was too bad. Unfortunately, because it was a really good price, this one was more priced like you would expect. Completed the Horace Silver United States of Mind records. There's 3 of them. This is the first one that I didn't have. That Healin' Feelin'. Got a few records actually on the same label. Where is this one? There we go. So it started with this Michael Stewart, amazing record. Through Discogs, someone selling these who had gotten in contact with Michael Stewart, and he still had dead stock. So he's a Canadian living in Germany, and he's selling these. So definitely, if you like spiritual jazz, this is from '89, but the best '89 jazz record I've ever heard, and I haven't heard many. But you know, heavily leaning, influenced by Coltrane. This is on Unity Records, a Canadian jazz label. A lot of people have spoken about this, posted it, and said how much they love it. And when I got it, I was not disappointed. Not that I thought it was going to be. I really had a good feeling about it. And then someone else from the VC doesn't make videos, but I met up with him in Toronto, and he gifted me a couple records, and one of them was also on the Unity label. So that's this one. Know nothing about it. Hands-on Vikrama. He gave me that, and he had said, "Oh, now you have all the records on Unity." I was like, "Cool." This one's from '87, but turns out on Discogs there's Unity and there's Unity. It's the same label, but they're not. They're, you know, it's cataloged or whatever on Discogs. And Chris Cole, the brother, hooked me up with the recommendation for this one, which is also on Unity. It was for sale cheap on Discogs. Robin Shear. So now I have 3 records on this Canadian jazz label out of the blue. So I'm going to keep exploring, see if I can find any of those, because this is stuff, you know, that I would probably just, maybe not the Michael Stewart one, but this one I would definitely probably have just passed by. But this is a really solid jazz record out of Canada. This one's from Vancouver from the late '80s. Who would have thought? Ornette Coleman, The Art of the Improvisers on Atlantic. This is from 1970 is the release date, but it's recordings from the early 60s, or well, 59, 60, 61. And this is with Don Cherry, Ed Blackwell, Scott LaFaro, Billy Higgins. Yeah, so those are, you know, who you would expect from that period, and it's up to par with the recordings. I guess it was some leftover material that was never released, so I was happy to find this one. Oh, I got some good stuff left. This was from that Toronto trip that I took. George Duke and the Feel. I somehow didn't know this George Duke record existed. From the early 70s, 74, and it's a great George Duke record from the early 70s, with a solid cast of musicians. So was happy to somehow, you know, I didn't know about that, was happy to come across it. I'd seen this once before, was more than I wanted to spend, and found a cheap copy of it. This is Perry Robinson, Nana Vasconcelos, and Badal Roy Kundalini on Improvising Artists. Some Eastern kind of spiritual jazzish music. Cool record, not like wow, but interesting for sure. Not a must-have. And this one, always happy to add a Fela Kuti record to the collection. Don't have many, but you know, when they pop up, it's always exciting. This is I think an 80s pressing, the first US pressing on Makossa of this run that was originally pressed in the early 70s, released in the early 70s in Nigeria. So yeah, Fela's London Scene. And I also have this Oliver Lake Heavy Spirits, one of these Arista ones from 75. So that's it for the used jazz. Have a lot of tidying up to do, and potentially rip out one more video. Peace, guys.